You've seen the claims. This penny is worth $1 million. This quarter can make you rich overnight. But is it true? The truth is, most of it is completely fake. Exaggerated prices, misleading hype. That's what we're here to expose. Welcome to Rare Coin Collecting. We reveal the real value, real history, and true rarity of coins that actually matter. From wheat pennies to rare state quarters. We cover it all with facts, not fiction. We explore coins in detailed series, one country at a time. And right now, we're focused on rare US coins. Subscribe now and discover the truth behind the coins.
People see this quarter and some immediately believe they've struck gold, literally. There are viral videos and social media posts claiming the California S-clad state quarter can be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. But here's the truth. Most of those claims are pure hype. If you're a serious collector, investor, buyer, or seller, you need the real story. And that's exactly what we do here on Rare Coin Collecting. The California State Quarter was released in 2005 as part of the 50 State Quarters program. The obverse, like all state quarters, features the familiar portrait of George Washington, while the reverse is where California truly stands apart. It honors naturalist John Muir gazing at Yosemite's half-dome with a soaring California Condor above, a design packed with symbolism and history. Now, this particular version we're talking about is the S-clad proof. Let's break that down. The S mint mark means it was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and clad means it's made from a copper-nickel sandwich over a pure copper core, not silver. Many collectors confuse the S-clad proof with the S-silver proof, but they're very different. Silver proofs contain 90% silver, while clad proofs have no silver content at all. So how do you tell if you have a clad proof? First, the edge color is a giveaway. Clad coins will have a visible copper layer when viewed from the side, while silver proofs will have a solid silver-colored edge. Second, the weight is different. Clad quarters weigh about 567 grams, while silver proofs are heavier at 625 grams. Now here's where the real collector's insight comes in. The S-clad proof California quarter was made for collectors only. You wouldn't find these in your everyday change unless someone broke open a proof set. In 2005, the mintage for the clad proof was about 3.26 million coins. That may sound like a lot, but in the world of modern proofs, it's not excessive. Condition, as always, is king. A proof coin is graded differently from a circulation strike. You're looking for deep cameo contrast, flawless mirrored fields, and no hairlines from mishandling. Even a single fingerprint can knock a proof coin's value down significantly. That's why serious collectors store them in their original mint packaging or in certified holders from grading companies like PCGS or NGC. And about those wild price claims online, a raw ungraded clad proof in perfect condition might fetch a modest premium over face value, but the big money only comes when you have a coin graded at the very top, PR70 deep cameo, and even then, you're talking collector market prices, not life-changing money. The crazy worth thousands. Headlines are almost always referring to silver proofs or to error coins, not standard S-clad proofs. Speaking of errors, yes, there are known error varieties in the California State Quarter series. On the proof side, errors are rare but can happen. Things like double dyes, missing frosting, or planche flaws. But these are exceptions, not the rule. And they need to be authenticated before anyone will pay serious money. So why collect the S-clad proof at all if it's not going to make you rich overnight? Simple. It's about completing a high-quality, foolproof set of the 50 state quarters. The California design is a favorite among collectors. And proof examples, especially flawless ones, add beauty and prestige to a set. Over decades, complete sets in perfect condition tend to appreciate steadily. And here's my advice. If you're investing in proof quarters, don't just buy them loose. Go for coins that are either still in their original government, packaging, or certified by a top grading service. Store them in a climate-controlled space, away from light and moisture, and handle them only with cotton gloves. Proof coins are delicate. Once the mirrored surface is scratched, it's scratched forever. The bottom line. The 2005 S-clad proof California quarter is not the jackpot coin that clickbait videos make it out to be. But for serious collectors who understand the difference between hype and history, it's a valuable piece of a bigger collection, a snapshot of American coinage and state pride during the early 2000s. Here on Rare Coin Collecting, we're committed to giving you the facts so you can make informed decisions. Whether you're an investor, collector, buyer, or seller, no hype, no nonsense, just authentic numismatic knowledge you can trust. People online love to throw around big numbers, and lately, the California State Quarter has been one of the most hyped coins in the game. You've probably seen posts claiming that the Philadelphia mint version is worth thousands just because it's old or rare. Well, the truth is a lot more interesting than the rumors, and if you really want to know what makes this coin desirable to serious collectors, you need to understand the full story. The California State Quarter was released in 2005 as part of the United States Mint's State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each design celebrated one of the 50 states, and California's coin paid tribute to one of the most iconic natural landmarks in the country, Yosemite Valley. The design features naturalist John Muir standing in front of a breathtaking view of Half Dome with a soaring California Condor in the sky. It's a tribute not only to California's landscape, but also to its conservation history. Now, the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small p, mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail, on the obverse, struck millions of these coins. The official mintage for the 2005 P California Quarter was massive, coming in at 257,000 coins, so no, the regular circulation strike is not rare. If you have one in your pocket change, it's worth face value. But here's where things start to get interesting. Collectors aren't chasing just any California P Quarter. They're hunting for coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. That means absolutely no wear on the high points of Washington's hair, or on the fine details of John Muir in the background design. A coin that's sharp will often still have full luster, reflecting light almost like a mirror. But that's not all. Error varieties are the real goldmine for this quarter. During the minting process, striking mistakes, die breaks, off-center strikes, and double dies sometimes slipped through quality control. For example, there are reports of California P quarters with dramatic die cracks running through the Condor's wing, or with partial collars creating a slightly wider rim. Even more desirable are double die obverse or reverse errors, where elements like the lettering or parts of the design appear to have a shadow or ghost image. Now here's something most viral posts never tell. You must not all errors add big value. Minor machine doubling, small die chips, or slight off-centering won't make you rich. Serious collectors pay attention to rarity and demand. An error that only shows up occasionally on the market can create a bidding war. But if there are hundreds of examples floating around, the prices drop fast. Grading is also a key factor. Adustes and Sync B, California Quarter and MS68 or higher, with perfect surfaces, strong strike, and full eye appeal, can be worth far more than an average uncirculated example. But finding one in that grade is tough, because most coins were spent, bagged and handled in bulk, picking up tiny marks before they ever reached collectors. There's another twist. Coins found in original U.S. mint rolls or mint sets often have better surfaces, which makes them great hunting grounds for high-grade examples. And if you can pair a perfect coin with a desirable error, now you're talking about something that can command strong money at auction. One of the most famous auction results for a California P Quarter wasn't just about condition. It was about an incredible mint error that made it one of a kind. The coin had a dramatic off-center strike that still showed a full date and mint mark, and it sold for far beyond what anyone would expect for a modern quarter. That's the power of rarity combined with visual appeal. So the bottom line? The 2005 P California State Quarter isn't rare in general, but exceptional examples and unique errors can be worth far more than pocket change. Don't fall for clickbait that tells you every single one is worth thousands. Instead, learn to spot the coins that actually stand out. That's where the real value is. At Rare Coin Collecting, our mission is to cut through the hype and give you the facts. If you're an investor, collector, buyer, or seller who's serious about knowing what truly matters in the coin world, no hype, No clickbait, this is where you belong. Stick around, because the next coin we're covering has a story you won't believe. People online are claiming that this California silver quarter is worth a fortune, some even throwing around insane price tags without any proof. You've probably seen the clickbait thumbnails, bright red arrows, shiny coins, and promises of instant wealth. But let's slow down and take a real look, because while this coin is absolutely collectible, the truth is much more interesting and far more valuable for a serious collector to understand than those viral posts let on. This coin we're talking about is the 2005 California S Silver State Quarter. Now that S mint mark immediately tells us something important. It didn't come from Philadelphia or Denver like most quarters you find in your pocket change. It came from the San Francisco Mint, and it wasn't made for general circulation. In fact, unless you bought a proof set directly from the US Mint or from a dealer, you are never going to find this coin in your change. Why? Because this is a 90% silver proof quarter, part of the State Quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008. In 2005, California was honored as the 31st state in the Union, and the Mint chose to capture one of its most iconic landmarks on the coin, Yosemite's Half Dome, framed by a California Condor in flight. If you've ever seen Half Dome in person, you know exactly why they chose it. It's a symbol of both the state's wild beauty and the adventurous spirit that shaped California's history. But here's where it gets interesting for collectors. Proof silver quarters aren't struck the same way as regular ones. They're produced with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, giving them that deep mirror finish in the fields and frosted details on the raised design. Each coin is struck at least twice to ensure sharp detail. When you hold one under the light, it's like holding a tiny, perfectly made piece of art. Now, the mintage, the U.S. Mint produced about 1.7 million of these silver-proof California quarters. That might sound like a lot, but in the world of numismatics, it's relatively small, especially compared to the hundreds of millions of regular-clad California quarters minted for circulation. And because these silver proofs were sold only in special sets, many remain locked away in original government packaging. That means finding one loose in top condition is actually rarer than you might think. Here's the catch, though. Condition is everything. These coins were struck for collectors, so most examples will grade very high if they've been kept safe. The real challenge is finding one that's truly flawless. In professional grading terms, that's a PR70D cam, perfect proof, deep cameo. Those top-grade coins can command serious attention from collectors, but the jump in value between a PR69 and PR70 is enormous. Even the tiniest flaw, invisible to the naked eye, can drop a coin's grade and its price dramatically. We also need to talk about fake silver quarters. Yes, even modern proofs have been counterfeited, usually by taking a clad proof and silver plating it. The weight will be wrong, the ring will sound off when tapped, and the edges may show a copper core if the plating wears. If you're buying raw, meaning ungraded, make sure you know the coin's weight should be about 625 grams, not the lighter clad weight. And if in doubt, stick to coins in original mint packaging or ones graded by PCGS or NGC. Another thing that adds intrigue to this coin is the timing. By 2005, the State Quarters program was already a massive success, with millions of new collectors, many of them kids and families, looking for every design. That surge in interest created a ripple effect in the proof silver market. Suddenly, more people wanted complete silver-proof sets, and demand for these specific quarters rose. That's why even today, if you're building a full run of State Quarters in silver, you can't skip the California S Silver. But here's the reality check. Despite what some videos might say, this coin isn't a guaranteed jackpot. Its real strength is in long-term numismatic value, especially as part of a complete silver-proof State Quarters set. Silver content gives it a baseline value tied to precious metal prices, but the collector premium is all about condition, rarity of perfect grades, and market demand. The bottom line: if you've got one of these, protect it. If it's still in the original government packaging, don't break it out unless you're sending it for grading. And if you're buying, buy smart, know the weight, know the look of a real silver proof, and be wary of anything that seems too cheap. At Rare Coin Collecting, we're all about separating hype from history. The 2005 California S Silver State Quarter might not make you instantly rich, but in the right hands and the right collection, it's a coin with real staying power, a piece of American history, struck in silver, celebrating one of our most beautiful states. For investors, collectors, buyers, and sellers who want real knowledge without the clickbait, stick around. We've covered a lot of coins like this, and there's always another story and another truth behind the next one.